Masters of Sex was a television drama that ran on Showtime from 2013 to 2016 about the pioneers of the science behind human sexuality, whose research is credited for being instrumental in starting the sexual revolution. And I have to admit, this show is one of the best shows that Showtime has ever produced. And I largely credit the casting of Michael Sheen and Lizzie Kaplan for that fact. Now, though most of the recurring supporting cast gave more than noteworthy performances throughout the show's 4 seasons, the chemistry between Sheen and Kaplan is what constantly made the tension in the show palpable to the point that you couldn't wait to see what would happen next. And though the show is, on the surface, about William Masters and Virginia Johnson studying the science behind human sexuality, and given that there's a good amount of nudity and sexual energy permeating throughout the course of the show, at its core, it's a love story involving two people with such a thing in common that it propels them towards one another, sometimes at the expense of their partners and even in some ways their children. And given that, you end up watching all 46 episodes of this show with a keen eye towards what will come of Dr. Masters and Johnson romantically. And of course, if you watch the show to its conclusion, then you know that the pair end up getting married in the series finale, which felt like a rather abrupt ending upon first watch, but then feels like just the right way to finish the story upon second thought. Now, strangely, this show is pretty hard to find these days, and even on the few streaming services that have the show, it's only available as a pay-per-view selection, which would make it a pretty expensive watch in its entirety. But you can spend about $40 and buy the complete series on Blu-ray if you still have something to play it on, which is what I did. I'll say again, it's pretty difficult these days to impress me where television shows are concerned, primarily because TV shows have so many opportunities to make narrative mistakes because of the sheer length of the story being told. But Masters of Sex told a quintessential office romance, one that actually had what I thought was a happy ending. And when you add to that the fact that I thought the show did a great job in the way of production design, especially for the money, and that it was a period piece, of course, combined with some riveting performances by the supporting cast, Masters of Sex, even all these years later, is more than worth what it will cost for you to check it out.